So I'm Michael Hopkins. I'm with Broadridge. They've asked me if you have your program with you, if I would MC today's event. And so Michael Hopkins, I'm Managing Director and Head of Community Relations, which is a new role that I just recently have assumed. Some of you had known me in a prior role as President of Fixed Income Securities Finance Business that my colleague, where's VJ? Where's VJ?
Right here, Mike.
And my colleague, VJ, VJ has now assumed that role, and I'm just so grateful that I've been asked to kind of get involved as we move forward as a member of this community. So I want to just kind of thank you all for coming and joining us today, because it's really an honor and a privilege that we're able to kind of come together for a time such as this. So if you have your program, there are really three parts to the program that I'd like you to realize. With the first part of the program, we're going to have some speakers share their perspectives around how we arrived at this moment along the journey. An external perspective representing the development of Newark in the mayor's office as he comes in, a Broadridge set of speakers who will talk about it from a Broadridge perspective. And then right after I speak, we're going to have some welcome remarks from Matt Connor and from Ben Corman. So the first part of the program you'll see is just a series of speakers. Then the second part, we'll do a formal ribbon cutting and a toast. I took a page out of Chancellor Cantor's playbook. Okay, so I hate to say, but you know, I'll admit it. I went to a Rutgers ribbon cutting. I was invited, and the idea is not just everybody watching the ribbon cutting, but we'll all toast at the same time, so we'll all participate in the activity itself. So this is an us event, not just the 5 people you'll watch doing the ribbon cutting. Okay, is that fair? Okay. All right, so that's the second part. And then the third part will be a tour. We'll do, tours in a manageable size. We'll do a tour kind of walking around this floor so you can get a feel for the actual facility that we laid out here and the kinds of things that are going on. So those are the 3 things that's going to take place today. Everyone okay with that? Okay? So without further ado, let me introduce Ben Corman, CEO and co-founder of C&K Properties. He will come and do a welcoming, followed by Matt Connor, who's the CFO for the Broadridge division called Global Technology and Operations. And he's kind of imagine a CFO having the brains to kind of figure this out. All right, because he's been the one who's really kind of championed this on our behalf. All right? So with that, Ben.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everyone. Welcome to 2 Gateway, the most technological advanced building in the region. And we worked hard on this. Broadridge financial system coming to Newark is a big deal. It's a big deal for us. It's a big deal for Newark. It is a validation and a realization of a great vision for Newark that has been in the making for quite a few years. I want to thank Mayor Baraka for his great leadership and his inspiration. Under his guidance, Newark is becoming a national technological hub. Not only Broadridge is a great fit for this building, it is also a great fit for the city of Newark. Technologically advanced, financially savvy, socially responsible, Broadridge is a company that will be an active corporate citizen in the city, and they have demonstrated that already with Michael being pretty much in every event I am at. And that's a great sign, and I commend this. I think it's terrific. We think that Broadridge will be very comfortable in this beautiful new space that they have, and we know that our building and the city will be better for their presence. So I won't make my remarks very long. I want to thank everyone that was involved for their share in making this deal happen, and for the city that really was in the background commending and welcoming Broadridge. Welcome.
So I just wanted to start by thanking Ben and Kevin for all the help in making this a reality and the move in. So good afternoon. As Mike said, I'm Matt Connor. I'd like to welcome everyone, our guests, my fellow associates, which represent a broad cross of the Newark community, including public officials and staff, universities, nonprofit organizations, and the chambers of commerce, and fellow businesses as well. Thank you for attending our ribbon cutting and for all the support and kind gestures we have received since we embarked on this process. Today, this ribbon cutting ceremony and invitation are expressions of our thanks and appreciation to everyone who's helped us graciously through this process. Many people and entities were responsible for our decision to ultimately relocate here at Newark. I would like to personally thank the Newark Alliance and their CEO, Kim McLean. Kim and her team provided us an overview of Newark when we were just getting started. They also coordinated a series of invaluable conversations with Alliance members and partners, including Prudential, Panasonic, Audible, and McCarter English, just to name a few. Our executive team gained invaluable knowledge as we went through that. It was really helpful to us in making our decision to ultimately move here to Newark. Thank you to the Newark Alliance for you and your members sharing all the knowledge that you have. We're here at 2 Gateway on one of our floors. We occupy 3 and a little bit of a 4th floor here, about 160,000 square feet. The space was constructed with the help of a lot of different firms here to meet our open and collaborative environment needs. We hope you share our associates' enthusiasm about the new space that facilitates both the important work that they do and makes it comfortable for them while they're here. The layouts on each floor are very much consistent, subject to a few areas that have unique requirements, and post the ribbon cutting, as Mike mentioned earlier, we'll have a tour. The overall response from our new location from our associates has been very positive, including many who have taken experience of a lot of what Newark has to offer, especially the food. One of the things we provided them was a welcome kit to help them quickly know the area and partake in the many fine dining options just for starters. So again, thank you and welcome today.
So if you follow the program, so we have the next 2 speakers. First, Aisha Glover. Most of you know she's the present CEO of the Newark Economic Development Corporation. And Aisha has been so instrumental in guiding us as we decided to be here and then becoming an active member. So without further ado, Aisha.
This is a great, great day. Many conversations, a lot of planning with Mike. So I just want to recognize the leadership at Broadridge. They are no joke. The real deal, really looking to kind of come into the city, but really be of the city. So I really, truly appreciate that. There's a level of commitment here and authenticity in your kind of corporate citizenship that I was on a panel with Mike recently, and he said I was a nudge to him in this space. But the truth is I didn't have to really nudge that much, so that's always refreshing. He's asked about local sourcing. He's coordinated with city agencies. I've had conversations with their head of HR, connecting them to our workforce development board here. And they're genuinely interested in engaging, which has just truly been refreshing, and onboarding their staff and participating in tours and outreach. So we're happy and we're thrilled to have you as a tech anchor in the city, joining other anchors. It was my pleasure to be connecting you to the Newark Alliance and so much that's coming out of the Alliance under Kim's leadership. And we're really committed to growing the sector, so this means a lot to the city for you guys to be moving here. I was just talking to one of the media about the statement that's made when you're moving within a state, right? So when you're moving from one city to another, there has to be a sizable reason. And so for us, it's the culture, it's the community here, but we understand the value of the data infrastructure and having that tech infrastructure here is invaluable to you. So we're hoping that you leverage that. We sold that, we pitched that, we hyped it up in our proposal to Amazon. We included Broadridge in that narrative because we do see the value of having such a major tech anchor like them. So we're proud to have you in the city, and we're looking forward to seeing you grow. Thank you.
Just before I introduce the mayor, Kim McLean, will you raise your hand? So you heard about the Newark Alliance, you heard Matt make reference to it, you heard Aisha. Kim, thank you so much for that introduction, and we appreciate it. Now I have the real honor. The mayor's here, Your Honorable Ras Baraka. And what you see here and the energy you see here has a lot to do with the leadership of this great city of Newark. And so I just want to personally thank the mayor for being here today, both symbolically and also because of your presence and the things you've done. The doors have just been opened to Broadridge. So without further ado, I want all of us to give the mayor a resounding round of applause.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I just want to thank all of the partners that we have, both public and private, who probably double, triple, quadruple teamed Broadridge to make sure that you made this decision here today. You know, from higher ed, Nancy, and everybody else who thought it was important to make sure that this happened today. I just want to thank you. It's probably the first time in a long time that all of us have been on the same page, and we've been on the same page for a few months now, you know, maybe a couple of years, and we are churning it out, because we all benefit. All of us benefit. Broadridge benefits, the city benefits, the residents benefit, other institutions benefit from what's happening here today. So we are happy about this day, and I'm also want to thank Aisha and NCEDC for quarterbacking this thing as they've quarterbacked a lot of our opportunities in the last few years. So thank you to them and the work that you're doing every day. This morning, I had a conversation with about 200 boys at Eastside High School. You know, this morning I do a tour around the schools and speak to the young people. I had when I spoke to them, I mentioned that I was coming here today. I mentioned Amazon. I mentioned the amount of kids moving through Rutgers. I mentioned the Honors Learning Center. I mentioned all of those things, and I told them that the city is moving forward, that when I was a child, when I was a young man coming in Newark, people would always tell me Newark is moving forward. I just couldn't see it, right? People would say Newark is a college town. I just didn't know anybody who went to college that was around here or went to these colleges. They would say Newark is experiencing a renaissance. It was the longest running renaissance that you know, I've heard of. And I told them this morning that things are happening, that if Nancy Cantor is saying that they're targeting Newark residents, that you better get yourself ready. Right? If the corporations in the city saying they're hiring Newark residents, you better get yourself ready. If I'm going to Broadridge, one of the premier tech companies in this country, you ought to get yourself ready. If we're fighting to get Amazon here, get yourself ready to be a part of this pipeline. So when we create opportunities for residents of the city, we're talking about you. We want you to be excellent. We want you to be great. So us accepting and happy that Broadridge is here is a selfish thing, because it also gives inspiration to all of our young people in the city that there's something out there waiting for them, that when they graduate from school, they have a college to go to. When they leave college, they have a job that may be there for them that they can aspire to be a part of. And so I thank you for coming here and being a part of this new ecosystem in the city of Newark, because we're moving forward. We're growing, Amazon or not. Newark is happening. Yes, Newark. And I'm glad that Broadridge has said yes to Newark today. So that being said, thank you. I don't want to hold up the ribbon cutting. I know you have a long program today, and I just, again, thank you on behalf of 300,000 residents of the greatest city in the greatest state of New Jersey.
So with that, if you look at you see the screen up here? You see the brands that are represented? This has been a partnership with the city of Newark and the Broadridge company. And we take it to heart that this partnership is off and running. So what I like to do, just for a moment, because this is what's represented here, all non-Broadridge employees, just raise your hand. All non-Broadridge employees. If you're not an employee of Broadridge, raise your hand. Okay? All right, so Broadridge, I want you to see the community who's come out to welcome us on such a day like this. So we want to thank all to Broadridge employees. Let's thank the community that's come out to welcome us. So now I want to turn to, that was the city of Newark. I want to turn to Broadridge and introduce the president and chief operating officer of Broadridge, Tim Goki, and he'll give you a perspective on Broadridge and who we are. Tim Goki.
All right. So, thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. That was fantastic. And there's an article written a few years ago that called Broadridge the most important company you've never heard of. And so for our non-Broadridge associates here, I thought I would just take a moment, because we won't get that much opportunity to get you all together to tell you about us. So I want to spend a moment just introducing who Broadridge is, why we believe so much in what we're doing, and why we're so excited to be making a difference together with the city of Newark. So financial services, that's the realm we're in, and it's a big industry. We have a very specific part of that, which is we support operations and technology for capital markets firms, wealth management firms, and asset management firms. And we do that in a very specific way. We have a business model where we support the back office of these firms on a software as a service basis, wrapping our people around that and taking whole specific business processes that we do on their behalf. And that has given us some very strong positions. So in the fixed income markets, we do about 2/3 of that. We're in the clear sort of core clearance and settlement, books and records piece of that. About 2/3 of that is on our platform. We do that for 6 of the 10 largest equities firms. We do that in 70 countries. And because of all of that, we clear and settle on our platform about $6 trillion a day. And for reference, that is about 30 times what is traded on the New York Stock Exchange every day. So Newark has just become the #1 financial capital maybe on the planet as a result of that. On the governance side, we power all of the elections of corporate directors. That gives us a relationship with every brokerage firm, with every mutual fund complex, with every public company, and with every end investor. And we end up with every position of every investor in the US in our database, which is very secure. And on the communications side, we send 5 billion communications to 80% of US households. So we even though you've never heard of us, we do a lot. But what's more important than what we do is why we do it. And our purpose, our mission, is to make people's lives better by powering investment, governance, and communications for everyone. And so if you think that being able to save for retirement, save for college, save for whatever purpose is important, then what we do is part of that. If you believe that companies being able to raise money to grow or to start a new division, a new piece is part of our economy, then what we do is important. If you believe that being able to have well-qualified oversight of our largest companies by non-governmental leaders that are chosen by owners, then what we do is important. And if you believe that investors having transparent information so they can make their own judgments about risk and return and how they want to save and invest and do that in a way where they have full disclosure, then what we do is important. And it's not as tangible as building a power plant or building a bridge, but it's part of the core infrastructure that makes our economy able to be what it is. And it is something that makes me so proud to be part of this company and makes me so pleased to be able to be here with you all making this happen over the next, I hope, many decades. And so we are really excited to be here doing this with you in Newark. And while we're having impact now, we think we can have a lot more impact. And just for context, our company's revenues, fee revenues, are on the order of about $2.5 billion. The market that I just talked about for services like the services we provide, ops and tech, serving the core financial, just call it wealth management capital markets, is $100 billion. So we have essentially infinite growth opportunity from where we are. And we're looking forward to doing that right here with you all. So we'll have to start adding some floors on, hopefully. But really doing all of that requires great associates. And our company is founded on the whole idea of the service profit chain, which is if we do the right thing for associates, they'll do the right thing for clients, and our shareholders will do well over time. And it's that belief that really led us here to Newark, looking for a great environment, a great building, great transportation, great outside environment, great education, all the things and the vibrancy that we're seeing here is what makes us so excited about being here for the future. And so we just thank you. As Mike said, you guys have been incredibly welcoming from the very beginning. Before we even moved in, we already really feel part of the community and are just looking forward to doing that in the future. So we're pleased to be here. There's a lot of opportunity. We look forward to making a difference together, and by doing that, making this community an even better place for all of us. So thank you very much.
Next, we'll have Charlie Marchesani to come forward. We have a division it's called Global Technology and Operations. And so Charlie is the president of that division, which is housed here. So he's the lead executive that runs this part of the company for Broadridge. And so Charlie's going to come and talk a little bit about that decision that we made and maybe how he feels about it. So I'll let you kind of hear from him.
In case you don't notice, I am very excited to be here. Look, on behalf of 1,000+ associates, I just wanted to reiterate how excited and privileged we are to be part of the Newark community. Look, if I just share the word on the street or better, the word on the halls, I continue to get tremendous feedback from our associates about the new location, the community, the building, the design layout. I love coming here. I walk in and I feel a tremendous energy level from our associates with what we've been able to accomplish here. And that is translating into levels of communication and collaboration that we didn't have before and continue to grow. Just, building upon those comments, the welcome and the support that we have received from the community has been fantastic. From supporting on the move into the community, to settling in with our associates, from the reception that we've gotten from every diverse aspect of the community, from the public sector, from local government, elected officials, the community organizations, the universities, and most significantly from the local businesses that are in the area. Mike and I were downstairs a couple of weeks ago. We were online to get coffee in the lobby, and I think we were the fourth person online, and apparently Mike was looking very impatient because the person in front of us said, just bear with them. There's a lot of small business vendors here, and they just haven't gotten used to this influx of this big company that's come into the building. So I go, really, what company is that? And they go, Broadridge. I go, well, we're from Broadridge. And the person looks at me and goes, I love Broadridge. And of course, we love being here, so it is fantastic. And look, I just have to share the story about how, Mike talks about the journey of how we're getting here, and you talk about Amazon coming in, and you know what? If you want Amazon to come here, have them talk to the business stakeholders who are part of this community. We went through a very detailed and rigorous process about how we were going to select our new location. I will tell you one of the most important factors that influenced me was the passion and the commitment of the stakeholders, the business stakeholders in this community. Because look, a key part of how we thought about the decision was we wanted to be with other firms that shared our value and commitment to our associates as well as the community. And look, everyone we talked to gave us realistic and honest input into the process. But the overwhelming feedback from every single firm we talked to was that they were enthusiastically a part of Team Newark and committed to the success of this community. So just talking to people like that about how they talked about this city was absolutely fabulous. And what was important to me, I wanted a home for our associates that we could be part of a community like that, and we could share that enthusiasm and pride. Look, a key focus of Broadridge has been about our people. We aspire to be a great place to work. I believe we actually are a great place to work. And that's built on a foundation of a community of engaged associates. And I feel great about being part of this community and helping us to advance that focus. And look, as we're part of this community, it's going to help us because we're going to be able to recruit and attract talent that's going to continue to help us to grow our business. Look, moving forward, we plan to be an active participant in seeing Newark grow and thrive. I'm thrilled about the discussions that we've taken part in to date of how we can be a member of this very active community and already participating. You know, Mike talked about his role. One of the things that we wanted to do was evidence that commitment, and Mike has taken on that role to being an ambassador to community. Mayor, nothing bad, but we do call him Mayor inside the building, okay? Works for me. So look, in just wrapping up, I just wanted to thank the members of the Newark community who so graciously provided their feedback and support during our selection process as well as during the move. I want to thank the property owners, you know, Ben and Kevin, for all the support that they've done this. I also want to thank internally all of our associates. So if I could take maybe a minute, the members of our internal steering committee, could they raise their hand? Don't all be shy. Thank you. And Matt Connor was the chairman of that community, of that committee. And you know, Matt's my CFO. He's my partner. He's a great colleague. But when I watched Matt in action, he was part, you know, real estate person. He was part facilities person. He was part a number of other things. And we wouldn't be here without Matt. So I just wanted to thank Matt for everything he's done. And then, look, finally, just again, thanks to everyone for the support. Thanks for coming here today. Again, it is great to be here, and I want to turn it back over to my friend, Mr. Hopkins.
Thank you, Charlie. Now, I am going to need to ask you indulgence because I got to do a few more thank yous. Okay, so just bear with me because I know you're getting the glass in your hand and you can't wait. Okay, it's non-alcoholic. Okay. But I just need to just do a few more thank yous. We mentioned like community partners. I'm just going to call out just a few more just because they've been so helpful. The NRBP is kind of the Chamber of Commerce of Newark. Chip Halleck, Barbara Kaufman, thank you all so much because you kind of guided us in here, okay? Just as one of the members who have been so instrumental to that. And I'm just calling a few people out, Mayor, just as an example, not to be exhaustive, but an example, okay? So I just wanted to say thank you all so much for doing that. We've also been supported by a lot of local businesses. You'll see signs around the table, everything from just the catering of this event to the photography for this event. Local businesses in Newark have been instrumental in today happening. So I'm just using those as just two examples, and don't be offended if I didn't call your name, but just two examples. You know, we talked about some of the other business partners. The entertainment industry is like phenomenal here. The Prudential Center has been really inviting to us. They had us attend the Grammy Museum opening as an example. NJ Pack has been phenomenal. So, and it goes on and on and on. So I just want to thank you all for that in terms of the welcoming. Now I got to turn a little bit internally, so if you don't mind, there's an internal side to this. Charlie mentioned the steering committee. Today's event happened because we had associates, when we said do a ribbon cutting, they said they want to just jump right in and make all this happen. I'm saying, like, really? So Cheryl Potter, okay, Cheryl Potter, okay? Martha Munoz, Teresa Palencia. Where's Tina Williams, okay? They just said, can we like run point on this and then pull all this together, working with the mayor's office, the Economic Development Council. They just like hands down, without even being asked. So thank you all for that. Then we have the facilities team that's here, represented by our facility organization that got us here, okay? Headed by Tom Regolia, Don Sconfienza, and Justin Facillo. Those are the ones who made sure that the construction happened on Project Management 101, the triple constraints, on time, on spec, on budget, we got in. All right? And a phenomenal job that our facilities team did, okay? And now this is the first time we're hosting an event like this. So our IT team weighed in by saying, okay, we're gonna host a press conference. We've only been here for a minute. We haven't even unpacked all the boxes. And we're gonna figure out how to make this event happen. We said, well, let's try this, let's try that. And they were just innovating the way through to come up with a solution here. And my hat's off to our IT team, because they said, we got it, we'll make it happen. So I just have to acknowledge the kind of work that went into innovating our way through this, which is just an excellent statement. Now, by the way, security is a big deal, right? So our security team, Bob Martin and his team have just been so phenomenal with that. When Antonio, and even we had something that happened in the area, Captain and the lieutenant of the local area, Perez and Plaza, came by to make sure that we were okay, okay? So I want to just, also just thank the local law enforcement who was just so supportive of us. And then you'll see from our marketing team, a lot of things that went out. The invite that came out was done by our marketing team, okay? When Tim Goki talked about who Broadridge is, the company you never heard of, so that you don't have that problem when you leave here, okay? Those of you who are not Broadridge employees, you're gonna get handed 2 documents. It's one pager, Broadridge at a glance, so you don't forget who we are. And another one, a thought leadership piece that we put out about what's happening in the industry called Pathways to Profit. So you're gonna get handed. If you're not a Broadridge employee, you gotta take these home. All right? Because we don't want you to say, we don't know who Broadridge is now that we're here. Fair? Yeah. Okay. All right, so without further ado, I would like to invite the ribbon cutting team up. So Mayor, would you please come forward? Oh, okay. As they prepare to cut the ribbon, and we all toast. Does everyone have a toast? All right. We're going to say, welcome Broadridge. Welcome Broadridge. Thank you, Mayor and Newark.
Thank you, Mayor and Newark.
And we are here.
And we are here.
Cut the ribbon.